All right, everybody, welcome and thank you so much for being here at SGDQ 2025. Whether you are here at the venue or watching on Twitch, I'm 8vaLuigi. You can just call me 8va, and I am joined by three lovely people on my couch.
Millie494.
cyndifusic.
I'm dragonz.
All right, and you might be thinking, how the heck do you speedrun Wii Music? And the neat thing is, this isn't going to be the standard fare of playing the game, making music videos, and jamming with your friends. This is actually going to be an 80-question ear training exam, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to be trying to clear it as fast as possible. So if we could get started with a classic GDQ countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! All right, I hope you all like this jingle because you're going to hear it 79 more times.
Precisely.
Hey, we got the good RNG, and we got Beanie Guy. So I only have one me saved on this Wii because we actually got it from one of Millie, my wife's relatives. And the only me that is saved on this Wii is Millie.
It is me.
Awesome.
She made it at some point in 2010. So I'm just going to be... Those two flutes, we're both playing a G there, and we're just matching them as quickly as we can. The other first two questions were just, hey, the speaker's playing a note. Which me is playing the same one? And then right there, that hand-hammered dulcimer there is playing a higher note than the other one. So now we do the opposite.
Raise your hand if you didn't know what a hammered dulcimer was.
All right, so this is a weird one. This is called the mood prompt, and it's going to be sad. Oh, that's happy. So for whatever reason, that question's really hard. The rest of the mood prompts in the run are really easy, but for whatever reason, that one starts with the exact same 4 notes. All right, what instrument was playing the wrong note, crowd? Was it the guitar?
It's guitar. So you can actually hear left and right if you're wearing headphones, which instrument plays the incorrect one based on their position on the screen.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so the game is pan and stereo. Anytime that there's a me on the left side of the screen, it comes up in the left headphone. Anytime there's a me on the right side, it comes up in the on the right headphone. Hey, Millie's in the middle there.
Hey.
All right, this is, Cindy just called it the slidey board, and now I'm gonna call it the slidey board for the rest of my life.
I think it's pretty fitting.
So basically, this is the most video gamey of the run. There was one me out of the place. Each of these squares represent an 8th note, and Millie over there on the harmonica was 1 8th note off. We moved her over and got that little twinkle, twinkle, little star excerpt taken care of in one cycle.
Yeah. So those levels at the end are fully cycle-based, and they get quite ridiculous as you get further in the run.
Yeah, well, we'll talk more about that later, but level 2 is very much similar to level 1, so please, if you have some time, feel free to read some donations.
I love the cat.
We love cats.
There's several instruments in this game that are arguably not instruments, but we love them equally.
Yeah, that's called the NES horn.
I was gonna say like that one.
But yeah, again, level 2 is really similar to level 1, so if you would like to read some donations, go right on ahead.
Will do. We've got that $5 train still chugging along. We've got $5 from Bolton that says, $5 train, let's go. We also have $5 from a mysterious donator that says, hello from the School of Cosplay in Vegas. We're here on the $5 train cheering you all on. Thank you for all that you do. We also have $50 from Vearejo saying, I heard we're doing a $50 donation train?
Ooh.
I mean, we could. If you have the capability to donate that much, it is much appreciated. Every single amount helps. Just like $5 from Corin Lesseth saying, hi from France. Thanks again, everyone, to supporting MSF. You all are awesome. Well, you're awesome too, Corin. We also have $5 from Orange Freeze that says, $5 donor train, let's go. And thanks, Richard, for the Rochester shout out. Let's go, Rochester.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Do I got time for one more?
Yeah, one more is good.
Alrighty. We have, of course, $100 from D that just says less than 3.
All right.
Alrighty.
We are getting into level 3 here. I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I started getting into this game. My friend Hendrix, who has a time on the board, shout out to Internet Mother, she brought over the game to my house one day, just hanging with me and Millie. And interestingly enough, when you play this game, Pitch Perfect, with 2 or more players, it spins a little wheel for like which person answers the question, and I was answering the questions pretty fast.
Maybe the first 2 people to ever play 2-player Wii Music.
Very true, very true.
And I was answering the questions like pretty fast, and I thought like, is there a speedrun of this? And sure enough, there was. And I actually recognized one of the names on the boards, and it was pretty high up. It was a video game music cover YouTuber named Insane in the Rain Music.
Yeah.
He had record when I got into the series. Yeah.
By the way, speaking of people who used to have records, today is actually the world record holder from when I started running the category. So shout out to Theon.
Happy birthday, Theon. I forgot it was his birthday. Oh my God.
So yeah, ever since the summer of 2021, I've been running this category. And interestingly enough, in the summer of 2021, another runner named the Bassoonist 7513 also started picking up the category. We traded world records 11 times that summer.
Yeah, that's a lot. So as we get farther on in the levels, there's going to be more Miis to choose from. And the notes are going to kind of get closer together. So like earlier in the game, the notes, like if you were looking at a piano or a keyboard, the notes would be kind of like on opposite ends with like a lot of space in between. And as 8va gets farther in the run, those notes are going to get closer together and make it a little bit harder to hear the difference.
Yeah. There's also like, in the first level, I only had to identify a 2-part harmony. But in a couple of the other levels, I've had to identify 3-part harmonies. And then also like pick more Miis in part of the run, or identify lowest to highest with more chord tones or something like that. So we're heading on into level 4, and I did just want to say, there's potentially a frame perfect trick at the end of the level. It's completely RNG whether or not I'll have to do it, but I hope I get to show it off. But there's going to be a little bit of time before that if you want to knock out a couple more donations.
I would absolutely love to. We've got that $5 donation train still chugging along, such as $25 from Darth Moles that says, choo-choo. We also have $50 from Fallen One that says, this audience participation Tetris 99 showcase was a lot of fun. My first Tetris was some version of our old DOS 386. I don't know if it was a particular version, but it was one of the super early runs. Got time for one more?
Yeah, one more is good.
We have $71 from Garlisle that says $1 for every person I beat during round 2 of Tetris 99. Thanks for letting me be able to say I technically played at GDQ.
That's awesome. Wow.
The guitar player is really messing up like all of these notes here. And also the guitar is really easy to identify.
Yeah.
There's a couple that have like really obscure sound fonts that sound very similar to the others.
And all of it's MIDI too. And like you reach a point where you realize in some ranges, MIDI clarinet and MIDI saxophone sound very similar.
They do, yes.
Yeah. As you could hear right there, MIDI clarinet, whether or not it's distinct in pitch, it still sounds pretty similar. Shout out to Kylie Kiwi, who, whenever there's 4 cats on the screen, she just puts 4 cat emojis in the chat. All right, this may or may not be a frame perfect trick coming up. Oh yes, I get to show it off. Awesome. All right, hold. Got it. Woo,
nice.
That was close.
Yeah.
Because of course this game has a frame perfect trick.
Of course.
So yeah, as you could see there, the second note in the sequence was stacked right on top of the first one. If you are able to drag the me that's on top of the second note, that soul that's on top of that me, if you're able to get it just in time before the example plays, you can get it in one cycle.
We're also matching pitches with dog barks, which is a very normal thing to do, I think.
Yeah. I'm actually really lucky. In level 3, there's like a really high probability that it could be a timpani, and the timpani is just impossible
It's
to
so
distinguish.
hard.
The pitch is so low, it's like indistinguishable.
All right. Go ahead.
Part of what people tend to love about these Wii series games is how serious the strategies can get, despite how silly they look. For example, in some of these levels where it's going to ask him for a 3-part harmony, but there are 4 Miis, rather than looking for 3 with the correct pitches, you're essentially just looking for the 1 with the incorrect pitch. So you don't always necessarily need to listen to all of them. And that's what kind of gives this some depth beyond just knowing your scales and moving the Wii remote fast.
All right, so that was the ukulele. That's actually a little tough to distinguish between the ukulele and steel drum. But again, because it was in the left channel, it was a little easier. It should be noted, anytime, like if you're looking to get into the game, anything that like plays something on the speaker, you can always just click the speaker again and have it play it again.
That is true.
All right, nice. It should be noted, the 4 of us that are all on this stage right now are musicians ourselves.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be a musician to start getting into this category. If you've ever thought, like, you know, Wii music is fun, there's a lot of other categories to run as well. There's another one called All Mini Games, which literally plays this, conducting mini game called Me Maestro, and a literal auto-scroller called Handbell Harmony. All right, levels 6 to the end are a real mad dash to the end, so I'm gonna let my commentators take care of explaining most of the things.
For sure. This is a point where it gets really mean. You can see here having to match pitch to an instrument that was not an option to choose from, like at all.
Yeah.
Oh, also, I know I said I was gonna let my commentators handle it, but I can't help myself. There was a comment on YouTube that like has lived in my head rent-free forever. When I first looked at Record, when I was starting to get into the game by Theon, whose birthday is today, there was a comment that was like pinned to the top that said, "Thanks for helping me cheat." And that's not how it works. I've been running this game for like 5 years at this point, and I still can't identify the RNG seeds. There's 80 questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're randomized every single time. And there's multiple options that, like you said, for each seed. So it really is different every single time.
I'd like to imagine he was just using Wii Music to cheat on his AP Music Theory exam.
That's so true. Okay. Hey, that's a Mario theme.
Almost.
Well, almost.
Yeah, there's a lot of like Nintendo themes that are in this game. Like the Legend of Zelda theme is one that you can play in Me Maestro. The Mario theme is one you can play, and it unlocks a really silly instrument called the NES horn. Hey, it's that
Is
instrument.
that one?
Yeah. This game has such a strange set list too. It's like there's a couple video game songs and then like a ton of traditional things and then also Wake Me Up Before You Go Go by Wham.
Yeah, I think they were trying to think like, Nintendo was probably trying to think like, okay, we don't have to spend that much money if we, do a lot of songs that are in the public domain, right?
Yeah. There is a truly horrible meme category for this game that is playing September by Earth, Wind, and Fire on all genres, and it is way too long of a run for what it is.
Nice RNG.
Yeah, I think like this run can kind of be broken into like 3 different tiers of things that can happen. It's like,
Wow.
Like that.
like it's good RNG, a good ear, and then also you kind of have to figure how to finagle the Wii remote. Mm-hmm. There we go. The Wii Remote can have a mind of its own sometimes. And I know, like, Dragonz and Cindy, you all run other Wii series games and can maybe speak to that a little more.
100%.
The Wii U genuinely has motion drift. I don't...
We didn't even know that was possible.
By the way, can we get this guitar player fired?
That's what I'm saying. This guy's trolling.
Every single time. Yeah, but with the Wiimote, I mean, every single one you have to pick up and click and move over, which if your sensor bar decides, hey, you're not facing exactly the right direction, like, you're going to lose time.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if anyone's been like reading the mood prompts, but they're like really strange, right? It's like things that like an 8-year-old would be concerned about for the bad ones. It's...
I don't know. I run into boulders falling off cliffs all the time. On our way here, we saw one. It was crazy.
Really?
You don't remember?
We were running pretty fast.
My bad.
I believe you.
I got a little redemption on level 6 in the incorrect note question. On the hotfix last month, I literally got the question wrong 3 times. Also, oops.
Is that your first wrong answer of the run?
It's my second, and they
Yeah.
both happened in level 7.
Oh, awesome.
Like I said, those notes are getting closer together, which makes it harder to distinguish there for sure.
Especially on the big stage here.
For sure.
Hey.
Wow, good one
Nice.
cycle.
Very nice.
Yeah, getting those on the exact squares is actually very difficult to do.
Yeah, because it gets to a point where you have to move several, and sometimes they're not even in the right order like they are in earlier levels.
Yeah. This one's tough. Got it.
You got it, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, got it, for real.
There you go.
Before we get into our last level here, I'd like to mention a mechanic in the game where if you do too well, you lose time. Because you'll see these high scores on the main menu. If you beat one of your high scores, you get a 4-second unskippable cutscene.
Or
so,
This is a common theme.
yeah, somehow this happens in Wii series games a lot. It's crazy.
Suffering from success, as the youngins would say.
There are entire strats to work around it in both Wii Fit and Wii Play. It's
We.
they do say Wii. I'm
Is that a
convinced.
reference?
They just want to make sure you know what console this is played on, right? Like, we.
Yep. All right, this one's really tough for some reason. Probably because it's in level 8. Well, not that time.
I gotta practice my
I was-
ukulele.
That's. I'm always so convinced of just the wrong answer every time.
That was actually remarkably fast. Considering
Yeah.
how I did on a couple of the other ones, I'm surprised it went that well. That timpani is really tough to distinguish.
That's the. I was really hoping we'd get that one. Yeah, there's. It's usually for the sad ones. It's just a sad jingle, but there's the one where they just like mashed their hands all over the keyboard, and I don't know why.
It's all on like super low notes too.
It was the boulder that hit the keyboard.
Yes.
This is the boulder.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
Nice.
That's it. Yeah.
Shout out to the game for giving me a half diminished chord on the GDQ stage. Really appreciate that.
Ooh.
Oh, this is really
gross.
tough.
One.
That's disgusting.
Oh, barely.
I
I disagree.
That was a matter of he had to get the one that was like stacked on the first thing off first and then move the other guy over.
This one's super doable though. And this is our last question. Time is going to happen when I hit A to clear the final level. I will announce when time
That's
is.
it.
All right.
And?
And time. All right, nice. Sub 19 in America.
It was like 1854. That's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is impressive.
The world record is 17:49 by me,
Which
when I am
I don't understand how
a lot
that's
more
possible.
locked in.
Me
But
neither.
thank you all so much to my couch. You all were such a valuable asset. Shout out to my friends who are watching both in the venue and in MDVA Melee, in Wii Series speedrunning, and in the PlayStation Nation. A lot of the other games that I run are for the PS1.
Yep.
Thank you all so much, and trans rights.
True. Please join the Wii Series Discord. These games are so good.